had to take a nice stretch because I have been diligently working on these paintings for the past 2 days. I actually started the drawings early this week. I think it was on Tuesday or something like that. And I began the painting actually yesterday. For this one here, I'm going to show you guys first. And oh my gosh, y'all know, like, I feel very personal about my artwork and my paintings. Granted that I just kind of got into this. This is something new for me. And I've been inspired, obviously, by Africa, the continent of Africa, the motherland, to do these 2 new paintings. And it's funny because I started out with doing Adinkra symbols, West African Adinkra symbols, and I went live showing you guys what those look like. I actually did 10. Then I put my paintbrush down for a while, and I came back maybe like a month later, and I did 2 new paintings, which I showed you guys last week, of the Egyptian gods Isis and Osiris. And I'm like, I just can't put my paintbrush down too long. So I picked it back up again and I started painting. I'm going to show you guys these 2 new paintings that I did. The first one, and it's funny because this one actually was supposed to be a pyramid, guys, but I struggled. I struggled because I think I did not put some pre-thought into how the pyramid was going to come out. So I found myself drawing a pyramid and erasing it and drawing it again because it just wasn't scaling right to this size canvas board. Now I believe these canvas boards are 36 by 40, so they're relatively large. And I did the canvas board horizontal, right? So I could draw the pyramid, but I think the issue that I was running into was the angles of the pyramid. I was like, okay. I'm thinking that, by the look of it, just from the natural eye, right? It looks like the angles are 60 degrees, but correct me if I'm wrong. I did not use a compass though. Maybe I should have to get a more accurate drawing or scaling of the pyramid, but I did not, you guys. So I scratched that drawing, but I'm going to go back to the pyramid. I think I figured out the trick. I think what I need to do is start with a 90-degree right triangle and then extend the sides to make the 60-degree equilateral triangle, because that's pretty much, I think, what a pyramid is, right? The sides of the pyramid are an equilateral 60-degree triangle. So, but the trick is, I think, is to start with the 90-degree first to make sure that it's sharp, make sure that the edges come out right. So I was just getting thrown off. I got frustrated. I said, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. And I think also I have a tendency to use the entire board. Like, that's how I am. So I like to cover the entire board, and the pyramid was just super large. I was like, okay, forget that. So I decided to do the continent of Africa. Now, granted, I am live on Facebook, so of course it shows reverse, but I will show you guys what it actually looks like in the actual orientation after I talk about these for a little bit. But this is the continent of Africa, and I was a bit like concerned about what color should I use to fill in the different countries in Africa, and there are 54. Somehow I got 55. I'm like, why am I counting 55 countries? And you guys notice there are islands like outside of the mainland of Africa. There are some islands like off to the side, but I still ended up with 55. I'm like, how do I keep, unless I'm miscounting, I kept ending up with 55. And granted, this painting is vertical, right? The scale, I think, the aspect ratio is a bit off, so I would say it's probably like squished. It's squished vertically. So you guys look at like the design of some of the countries. You might think like, oh wow, that's a bit taller than what it actually is, or a bit larger, but I just did that. And I think I did it kind of like naturally too. I wasn't thinking too much as I was doing the drawings for the countries. But look, you guys noticed something? Granted, I wasn't thinking too hard about drawing the countries, but look what happened. Did you guys see what I drew? Not even trying to, you guys. This is a face. I was like, oh my gosh. Even with the colors, right? Now, I did strategically use, and it's probably not showing up clearly here because I'm using orange ring light, but I did strategically decide to use the colors of red, black, and green to fill in the countries. And the red, black, and green represents the colors of the Pan-African flag that Marcus Garvey created back in 1920, and it represents freedom and liberty and the unity of all African people across the diaspora on the continent and abroad. So I definitely wanted to use those colors, red, black, and green. But look what happened. Look, it's funny. It came a face. It's like there's a face there. If you guys can see, like, I guess that would be like maybe the eye structure, clearly the nose, mouth. I was like, oh my gosh. Wait till I flip it around and show you guys. But I think that I did, for the most part, stick to the main design, like, you know, of the actual country, so what they actually look like in real life. I guess from a topographical view. Like an eye, the bird eye view of the continent. I think I pretty much closely stuck to that. But there is a little bit some exaggeration with some countries and a little bit variation. But I think that it's fine. You know what? I say, you know what? Big deal. Because when you think about the history of how the continent of Africa got divided, it happened at the Berlin Conference. Way back in 1884. I think it crossed over to 1885 too. It was like 4-month long conference with 14 European countries that divided up Africa. And so that's what we have here. I'm just like, what? How did Africa allow that to happen? But it was 14 countries, I think, including Austria-Hungary, who else was in there? Spain, Portugal, Ottoman Empire, Italy, Britain, I think Germany, Denmark. It was 14 of them that came together to convene and to host this conference to decide who gets what part of Africa. And this is what we ended up with here. And as I was drawing it, I thought that it was weird, like the geography of some of these countries and the design and how they were cut off. I'm just like, okay. Okay. This is interesting. Like this country here. How... Wait, this country here. Okay, so this is like the island. That's a different country. I think this is Gabon. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just weird how some of these countries, you know, came about. And then, like, look. My friend is from Gambia. The smiling coast of Africa there. Which you see, like, I kind of made as the nose in this portrait here. But I just think it's weird. So I'll set this down. So the next one, you guys feel free to comment. Let me know what you guys think about these. Hopefully my video is in sync because I know when I went live before to show you guys my Egyptian paintings. Facebook. So this is my next one. Oh, it's not quite dry. Oh my gosh, I gotta be very careful with this one because it's not all the way dry. I actually just finished this today. So the African one, the African continent painting, I completed that one yesterday. I spent all day yesterday working on that. So while you guys were enjoying your Thanksgiving dinner or cooking, I actually was painting the continent of Africa, and then this one actually completed today. So this is my first large-scale horizontal painting. Alright, I'm trying to flip it around without... I already got some paint on my hand, given that it's not all the way dry. This painting does, the paint does dry relatively fast, but it's not completely dry. So let me go back some. So, as you guys can see, I drew a hut there in the center of the painting. There's the sun above that hut. I got 2 African-inspired trees. I don't know the names of these trees, but if you guys know the name of this tree and the black tree over here, please drop it in the comments below. I do not know the name, but I love my little hut. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to build me one of these huts, you guys. And they have these huts all across Africa. Then I have my beautiful black beauty here. And a drum, African drum there. I'm about to flip the camera around so you guys can see it. But I was trying to decide if I wanted to make the sky black for night or like blue for day. But then I was thinking maybe I should make it yellow. Because I like to do things unconventionally, I guess, especially when it comes to art. You know, I feel like there are no rules really when it comes to art other than the rules that the artist creates. So yes, horizontal. I think this is a 36 by 40. It is pretty large, as you guys can see. And the grass is, I got like a neon colored green, dark neon colored green for the grass. Okay, let me flip it around so you guys can get a better look. Can't wait to hang these up. Alright. I gotta definitely let it dry though. How are you guys doing, by the way? Happy holidays. Alright, I'm gonna flip it around so you guys can see. So that's my motherland, Africa. It's red, black, and green. You guys see the face? I'm like, oh my gosh, I did a face there. Comoros, I think that's Seychelles. What's that there? I know that's Madagascar. This is Madagascar. I'm still learning, you guys, all of the countries in Africa. We're going to get it. We're going to get it together. Okay. I think this map definitely will help me because I'm going to have it hung up in my living room. So I'm just going to be looking at it and just like learning the countries. And then I'm going to start traveling. And so, and this one is the second one I finished today. Thank you, Willie. So that's the hut. You guys can see, I like to use like bright colors. I like to use just colors, period. I'm a color kind of artist. And I wanted to use Egyptian style eyes for her eye. But I love this tree, you guys. I think the first time I saw a tree like this was in Miami when I went to Miami years ago. I don't know the name of this tree though. But it's really nice. This one is still drying, so it's not completely dry. So you guys can see like some of the wet paint on the board. It's because it's not dry completely. But I love it. I can't wait to hang them up. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, I'm going to catch you guys later. There they are. Here's my high school picture. And Obama. Alright, I'll catch you guys later.